What's up, you guys? I've done a little bit of work the last few days. I'm getting pretty excited. I'm all jazzed up about this thing. I just got the injectors in there today. Those are GM truck decaps with the Honda little adapters on them. I have to cut this little indicator out inside so the connectors will go on, but that's minor. Stock B7 intake manifold, ready to tear it up. D16 white crank pulley because it has a dampener built into it. I got the cam degreed. All I did was I put a B7 cam in. Where's my other head here? Hold on, right there. And I checked where the intake valve opened at 50 thousandths valve lift, and I just duplicated that on the A6 cam. And I think on the adjustable cam gear it ended up being like advancing at 3 degrees. I don't know if that's gonna be perfect, but I think the car will run and we'll be able to get kind of a baseline from there. But I'm still gonna build a dump tube for it. I might actually have one that's bent a little from a header. I don't see it in around though. It's around here somewhere, but I don't know if I'm gonna recircuit into the downpipe or run it out the freaking hood. I don't know what the heck I'm gonna do yet. I kind of want to do the outlet to the turbo out the bumper. Because I think in the wheel well there might be enough room to put like a little muffler on it, so it's not so loud. But yeah, super stock looking. I'm falling in love with this thing because I know it's just got all the goodies inside. But another thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weld a bead on here, I think, because this is just, there's not really even a lip on there. I keep seeing other guys on YouTube blowing couplers off, and it's always this one because there's just no bead on there to hold the coupler on. And I think I'm gonna like die grind this lip a little so it's a little smoother transition from the velocity stack. And I don't think I'm gonna run the velocity stack on the turbo like this. It's gonna be on the bumper, and then I'll have some bends going to it. But I might run it like this. I just don't want it to suck hot air, and that's all. Oh, and I plasti gauged the crank mains and the rod bearings just because I wanted to double check them, because I used a micrometer and T-gauge and stuff, and it all seemed good. It seemed like it was gonna be a little tighter, but I wanted to plasti gauge it just to be sure, and I ended up with around 17-ish thousandths on the rods, and I got 20 thousandths on, no, I'm sorry, 1.5 to 2 thousandths on the rods and 2 thousandths on the crank mains. Don't want to mess those numbers up because all the haters will be correcting me in the comments. But oh, and I welded a bung where the black box usually goes, so I can either drain my catch can to that, or I may just plumb it to the catch can and put a drain on the bottom of the can or something. But oh, and I tried to get the map sensor off and it snapped the bolts, so I just welded the hole shut, and I'll just remote mount the map sensor somewhere else. And I got rid of the fast idle thermo valve and welded those holes shut, because who the heck needs to be warming up their throttle body, and I don't really care if it has a high or low idle, so I'll just set it with either, I may use the IAC or I might block that off too, but I've always just set Honda throttles with the opening the plate a little bit. So with a stock cam it'll idle mint anyway, so I threw this little valve stem guy on here for fun. That's not going to stay there. This actually is going to hit the hood. I have to take this off, and the hardness setter are setting off. And even then, I think I either have to cut the bracing out from under the hood or give the hood a nice whammo from the sledgehammer. This car's going to be so ugly, but it should be pretty quick. What else do I have for you guys? I think that's it. I just got the bung in here. I tried to drill the hole out and then use a punch to kind of like draw the steel in, make it like a tube type thing, and then I was gonna tap it and thread it for 3/8 or 1/4 inch NPT, and I ended up pounding that punch through there too far, and then this fitting didn't even fit anything, and so I was gonna weld something and blah blah blah. I don't know what I was gonna, like what a good fix is now is probably just to start over, but I ended up just using high temp JB weld, and she'll be all right. That's like the only thing that's kind of rickety on the build. I'm not too worried about that, but and I got my drain line ready for. I'm gonna let that JB weld harden up a little more, but then this will go right here. Oops, just like that. And I have that bar on the oil pan is right between these two bolt holes right here ish. I know, wait, these two, because I had to check the whoops, it's between these two, because I had to check the make sure the rod cap and bolt wasn't going to hit the end of the fitting inside, and it's got plenty of clearance, so there you can see the angle. It's pretty straight. So oh, I am going to end up using this manifold because it's $50 and it's accessible to everybody, and we'll see how it performs. There's a couple things I mentioned in the other video that I wanted to touch on. I should have written them down before I started this video. Let me go back and I'm going to watch it real quick, and then I'll tell you guys what it was that I was going to touch on. Alright guys, I just watched that video to check what it was that I was forgetting. I wanted to let you guys know that I reused the oil pump from this motor, and I did not port it or shim it, because I noticed that on this galley right here that feeds the filter, it tapers down to as small as the ports in the pump, so I didn't see any point in trying to open it up here when it would just be the same size here for volume. And I didn't shim it at all because, I don't know, I guess the 92 to 95 stuff that doesn't have any really oiling problems like the 96 to 2000 engines, so I just left it. And I mean, I took it all apart and checked it, made sure it wasn't all scored up or beaten or anything, and it was fine, so I just fired it on there. Another thing I was going to touch on was the Y8 crank pulley here. The timing marks are exactly the same as the B7. They're dead on as far as from pulley to pulley, which I thought was kind of cool. And it matches the B7 cover too. The keyway on the cam gear, I know you can't see it right now, but I ended up having to go down to a hardware store and just buying a Woodruff key that was close, and I grinded it down on my my bench grinder until it fit, and then I filed it smooth, and it's all set now. And I want to show you guys the oil lines too. I just used a T-fitting here. I can't remember where this came from. I think it came from Stealth Mode Performance like 10 years ago, and I just have had it in a Ziploc bag forever. And it's got 1/8 inch NPT ports on the side for oil pressure gauge and the turbo feed, and then it has the original Honda thread size for the oil pressure sender, so that'll still work on my gauge inside on the factory cluster. And that's about it, you guys. She's getting ready though. I almost pretty much have the long block done. Once I get the oil pan on, I realized my gasket kit that I ordered does not come with a pan gasket or a rear main seal, which is BS, but I'm gonna have to get an oil pan gasket, and I just reused the rear main seal because it looked okay and it wasn't leaking, so should be just fine. And then the long block will be done. I'll be able to put that on, tighten the drain, turbo drain down, and getting close, getting real close. So stay tuned, you guys. Yeah, super excited. Can't wait to get it fired up and running for the first time and put some miles on it and do an oil change and just go through the paces like you normally would. It's just fun every time you start a new build. So stay tuned, like, follow, subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Jack Tuned, my business page. Check that out. I'm always working on different stuff. I got an LS2 I just tore down, and it spun number 4, 5, and 6 rod bearings. They were like stacked right up like this when I took the caps off. And I just had the customer come pick up the crank so he can bring it to the machine shop and have it turned, and I'm getting that going. And then this Camaro over here, I just built the turbo kit for it. Put an S480 on it. I built the downpipe and dump tube out the fender here with the Motion Raceworks trim ring. And we're just waiting on him to get it registered so we can put some tags on it and go do some street tuning with HP tuners on low boost, like a 6-pound spring in the gate right now, and then we'll get it on the dyno and start making some jam. So stay tuned, you guys. All kinds of crazy shit happening over here. And oh, another thing on the shop, I just had to dig this crazy trench today so it would drain all the water out of the moat around it. And the roads are posted here still, so I can't have cement until May 1st. But I gotta bring some sand in and have it compacted, and then I can have the cement poured and the slab done, and then we'll start building. So hopefully a few weeks away on that stuff, and we'll be working in a big shop. So I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Guys, just one more thing while these pictures are going through. The eBay wastegate had this tiny spring. There it is on the left. And it was like 3 PSI. I bench tested it. So I stuffed 2 in it. 2 springs that I had kicking around from when I had the Caprice on the road. And I checked that, and it's going to be at 18 to 20 pounds. Leave a comment if you think that's what I should break this thing in on. Or your other thoughts. Thanks. Bye.